Hello, it's Karen Burniston here with an assembly video for one of our die sets. This is die number 1311, Pinecone, and you can check out all of our products at karenburniston.com. There are 8 pieces in the set, so I've just grabbed some scraps out of the scrap drawer in the various colors that I'll need. So a few pieces out of the dark brown, then I've got the overlays for the pine cones, and for those I'm going to use like a craft colored cardstock. The card I have in mind for these pine cones, I'm going to do in a Christmas theme. So for the berries, I'll do those out of a glitter cardstock that has double-sided adhesive tape on the back so that those will be stickers. Now you can use any die cutting machine that can accommodate a wafer thin die. I'm using my Spellbinders Platinum 6. Okay, so just gathering all of the pieces that I just die cut. On the stickers, if any of them stick to the die, I'm just going to grab that and put it back on the backing sheet. All right, then the last 2 dies in the set are the pine boughs. Now those are intricate dies. Those needles are really close together. So, you're probably gonna have to give that a little extra pressure in your machine to get it to die cut cleanly. So one thing I like to do is just push it out to an edge of my cutting pad because that area of the cutting pad is most likely less worn than the stuff in the center. I go through vertically and I hit it twice. And then, put a little space in between the 2 dies if you're die cutting them at the same time, just so that your, roller doesn't bridge across the dies and not give you good pressure. And then just check the back. You can usually tell on the back if it's die cut all the way through. If it hasn't, just rotate it a little bit and send it back through. At worst, depending on your machine, you may have to use like a metal adapter if you find that you just can't get enough pressure for that intricate die. But I've found that just hitting it a couple times, checking it before I remove it, and then just wiggling the pine needles out of the piece, and you can get a nice clean cut. For styling my pine cones, I'm going to use 2 colors of distress ink. So I'll use Walnut Stain and Vintage Photo. And I'll be using these colors on the overlay pieces. So I'm going to start with my Vintage Photo, just kind of hold the end of my pine cone and just give it sort of that base stain of Vintage Photo. And you may find that you want to style these completely differently. I'm just showing you one of my favorites. So you need something that is soft, like a piece of foam, and then something like a bone folder. And what you're going to do is you're just going to curl those pine cones. So press that down into that foam, that will curl them. And then when you take your fingers and bend the pine cone back into a flat position, all of the little cutouts will raise up. So just bend it back with your hands. That will raise all of those little cutouts up into the air. And then when you hit that with your other color, so in this case my darker color, my walnut stain, it is going to hit those raised areas more. So you'll get that kind of two-tone effect. Okay, so just a way to get that kind of two-tone effect, I might hit a little bit of the darker brown around the perimeter of my pinecone overlays as well. So again, just hitting it with that dark ink, those raised areas are going to collect that ink more, so you will get the little two-tone effect. Hit the perimeter of the overlay. You might also explore pulling those little cutouts up further or even curling them up, maybe with a little paper piercer or something where you could kind of curl that flap around it. So just really explore it. Then when I go to attach my overlay to my backing piece, I kind of just hit the perimeter so that I don't actually glue down any of those little cutouts. And then those are the exact same size, so you can choose whether or not you want to have them lined up perfectly or whether or not you would like to offset them just a bit to have a drop shadow in some direction. So that's just kind of completely your choice. I did a little drop shadow there so you could see how that would look. And then if those, cutouts kind of are up, then you'll see that darker color underneath. And then I just need to repeat that same process with the larger pine cone. Now I wanted to show here that another styling tip that a lot of the design team has been doing is adding some white gel pen to those little cutouts for some highlighting. So this was a lovely little calendar page by Lois Bach. Okay, so that completes the styling of the pine cones. And then from here, it's just a matter of combining them with the other pieces. So you've got a stick, you've got some berries. You could take those berries and put them on the end of the stick. You've got those different pine boughs. So you can definitely kind of arrange those however you see fit. The die will cut 10 berries at a time. So it is enough where you could actually decorate every single spoke of your stick if you want to. Or if you want to space those berries out, you could cut a few sticks and you'd have enough to, add them every third branch or so. Now, changing up the color of the berries can definitely just send that pine cone right into winter cards or maybe even just year-round nature cards. I think it's going to be really pretty for sympathy as well. We do have a new stamp set. It's called Quiet Forest, and there's some great sentiments on there that will work nicely with the pine cone beyond Christmas. So here's what I did with my pine cones. I did make a holiday card, so I used our Christmas Wishes clear stamp set, and then I just arranged those pine boughs into a wreath shape for the front of the card. Then I used our new playful pop-up to create some fun motion on the inside of the card. I love how the playful pop-up is completely generic and there are 4 different motion arms, so you get lots of movement with the playful pop-up. This card measures 5 by 5, so I'll be able to mail that in an A7 envelope. Let's take a look at some ideas by our very talented design team. Sandy Diller made this beautiful card. She combined the pine cone with those Quiet Forest clear stamps. Lois loves the pine cone, and you're about to see it because she's made all sorts of cards with it. So this first one uses the arch pop-up and then just decorated across the arch with the pine cones and the boughs. I like this one where she just used the pine boughs on the front, gathered them with a bow, and then used the postage pop-up inside, along with the Quiet Forest clear stamps. The new playful pop-up works in a side fold or a top fold card. So Lois has made a top fold card here, and then to make sure that her card stays open beautifully for a display, she's added the display helpers on the side here. So just lift that up, card stays open, push it in, and then you can close the card. And then here's another card by Lois featuring the pine cone. This is a fancy label accordion. Once again, she's combined that pine cone. I like her white pen detailing and several of our clear stamp sets. Here's a gorgeous rustic Christmas card by Frances Byrne. I just love the quiet simplicity of the pine cones on this. Sue Small Kreider made a wreath using the pine boughs and the pine cones and then added a light up feature to this card. And then finishing up with a beautiful winter card by Sue Small Kreider. I love her use of the swirls pattern plate and then adding in those snow charms with the pine cone. Gorgeous. Stores are taking pre-orders now for the pine cone die set, and it will be available for pre-ordering on our website starting November 24th, 2025. Thanks for watching. If you click on the website link, you'll go to KarenBurniston.com, where you can purchase these dies as well as find links to our other social media accounts. You can subscribe to this YouTube channel and check out some of my other videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.